God Fix My Life, a special series brought to you by the Destiny Center Tallahassee, where Clarence Jackson is the pastor, featuring life class every Wednesday at 7 p.m. and Sunday service at 9 a.m. Now back to this very special life class, the story of Gabrielle Cunningham.
Because I know while I was in my addiction and in the streets, it was nothing but the grace of God that kept me alive, because I should have been dead a long time ago, Even from the abuse that I suffered, I should have been dead, but God. Amen. And so through all of that, he still kept his hand on me, and I couldn't understand. Why me? You know, a wretch like me, why me? I don't deserve it. I don't deserve anything. And I always thought that. I will never be anything. I will never amount to anything. My life is just worthless. But God. After finding myself, being disobedient and not, obeying to the laws of the land as God says we're supposed to, I found myself incarcerated. God says, I'll get you one way or another. But in that incarceration, I felt as though God gave me a second chance of life for taking me and snatching me out of the pits of hell where I was at. And in the midst of me being incarcerated, I made a promise to God. I says, God, do not allow me to leave this prison the same way I walked in. Yes. And being in prison, I still didn't know me. I didn't know what I liked, what my favorite color was. I didn't know anything about myself. I just knew I had so much hurt and pain bottled inside from that little girl that was molested, from that little girl that lost her father at 12 years old. I still held all of that hurt and pain in. During my incarceration, I found myself trying to adapt to the prison life, but also still wanting to do the things that Gabby wanted to do. Still wanting to be in control. Still wanting to have that mentality, it's going to be my way, regardless of what man say. Well, during my incarceration, I found myself in the drug program, which was the best thing that ever happened to my life, because I was able to be in there, and it helped me pull out those things that I didn't even realize that I was still holding in. Resentments, hurt, and pain. And then also, the worst thing that any mother could ever experience happened. October 2010. I'll never forget, on that Sunday, I last talked to my oldest son, Demetrius. He was 24 years old. And his last words to me were, Mom, it's almost over, and I'm so proud of you. And I was just like, fussing at him, as his mothers do, just telling him what he should be doing. I'm trying to control his life behind the prison walls. That was on that Sunday. We made an agreement that he was going to be at his sister's house that weekend, so that I could call him again and we'll have a longer talk. And once again, he just said, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Before he hung up the phone, he told me again, he always called me his queen. He said, man, my queen, you know I love you, and I'm so proud of you. And Wednesday, I received a phone call to the chapel. He was shot 3 times in the back of the head. Wow. Of all things to receive, all things no one likes to get called to the chapel when you're in prison, because you always think what's happened. And I remember that day trying to negotiate with God. Please don't let it be my mom. Oh, but please don't let it be my sister. Don't let it be my daughter. Trying to pick and choose whom in my family I did not want it to be. Not knowing that it was going to be my baby. My baby. So, that day, I said that I thought when I was incarcerated, that was my second chance of life. But the day that my son passed, that was my second chance of life. Because that's the day I told him, let go, let God. Yeah. to totally give up, not live. I wanted to die right along with him. But I remember those words clear as day. I could hear him say, I'm so proud of you. No matter, he didn't hold any grudges of me being in the streets and choosing crack cocaine over him and his sisters. He didn't hold it against me because I wasn't there for his prom. He didn't hold it against me because he had to stay with his grandma. He didn't hold that against me. He seen me at my worst, but still called me, gave me the highest title of all, a queen. He still loved his mama. So that's the day when I said, God, what is it that you want with me? Do I deserve for you to even love me? Do I deserve your grace? Do I deserve it? But God, I felt as though I did. So I said, here I am. And that's the day that I told That's the day I totally surrendered behind those prison walls. And God has a way of orchestrating and putting things together. And all this happened in my last 2 years of prison. Because I did 7 years, where in those 5, I did what I wanted to do. And it took my last 2 years to get me set right, to set me on this path and this journey that he has me on today. Because he did not, I promised him in 2005, do not allow me to go behind those doors and that wall, coming out the same way that I came in. But not knowing it was going to take the death of my son to get me where I had to be. So through all of that, losing Demetrius, and totally allowing God to give me a triple bypass, because that's exactly what he did. I was on that operating table and didn't have no idea that I was even there, because God did a wonder in my life. I had the opportunity to complete the drug treatment program. I got rid of all that garbage, all that mess, things that I didn't even realize that I suppressed. Things that I had no idea that was still hung in my spirit. God released it. Released it because he did not want me to come back with those things still in me. Because every time something came to me, the only thing that I knew to do was to pick up a bottle or pick up a drug to suppress it. But that's not what God had intended for me. I had the opportunity to meet Pastor Nicky and L. And God just placed these people in my lives. And then I found myself, I joined the chapel, became an usher, and just started working diligently to show God that I am serious about my Father's business. And it started behind those prison walls. And I was determined that I was not going to be the same person. My name is Gabby, but I didn't want to be that same person that I was when I went in.
God Fix My Life, a special series brought to you by the Destiny Center Tallahassee and Life in the Now TV with Nicky Yarborough. Join Nicky Yarborough this Sunday for the Prophetic Worship Cafe at Pescado's Grill in Tallahassee at 8:30 a.m. And then next Thursday, the 27th, she'll be bringing a powerful word at New Covenant's Women's Conference. That's next Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Don't miss it.
Yeah. Y'all know what it is. Get to the floor, what you waiting for? Cause we can ride the beat straight to the top. Been waiting too long and now it's the time to show them all that side of the game. I don't care what I'm looking like, I just gotta show you that I'm